All right, here we go. I notice right away when I'm asked to solve this equation that not only do I have variables on both sides, but I also have simplifying I can do on both sides. So the first thing I'm going to do, the first thing is simplify both sides. Okay, so I'm going to do that totally separately, right? I'm going to look at this side first. I notice, what can I simplify? Oh, I have some like terms. I have 7x and positive 2x. Notice I'm underlining the plus with the 2, and this negative belongs to the 14. So 7 plus 2 is 9x, and I'm bringing down minus 14. Now look, if there was like a negative in front of the 2x, like there is here, right? Like here, this is going to be 15x minus 2x. So make sure you subtract, okay? That negative sign, whatever the sign is, it belongs to the number that's to the right of it, right? Okay, now here, what can I do on this side? Over here, I can distribute 5 times x, 5 times 2. I'm going to do 5 times x is 5x, 5 times 2 is 10. Let's bring down my equal sign. Now what I notice is that I have variables on both sides. So what I want to do is get all the x's to one side first. So right here, I could choose to do minus 9x, or I could choose to do minus 5x. Either way, I'll end up with all the variables on one side. I'm going to go ahead and subtract 5x from both sides. Okay, then look, I'm doing the math. Straight down, 4x, straight down, minus 14, straight down, 10. Okay, now I'm getting x by itself, so first I'm going to get rid of this 14. And then I'm going to divide by 4. Okay, and my answer is x equals 6. So first I simplified both sides. Look, then right here, I need to get the variables on one side. Okay, that's first. When you have variables on both sides, you move the variables first to get them on one side, and then you can solve. You can get x by itself. Okay? Okay, again, I would recommend pausing and doing these two and then continuing the video. All right. It says find the slope between 2 points. We have a tool for that. We used a slope formula. It looks like this. Go ahead and neatly copy it. This is x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to plug in y2, that's negative 3, minus y1, that's 7, over x2, that's 2, minus x1, minus negative 4. Okay, notice that since I took the time to label x1, y1, x2, y2, this was just like super easy. I was just copying numbers. Okay, negative 3 minus 7, that's 3 negatives, 7 more negatives, that's negative 10. This becomes a plus. This becomes 2 plus 4, which is 6. Okay, now I noticed two things. Number one, I noticed this is a negative divided by a positive, so that's negative. We put the negative out in front of the fraction, and I'm just going to put it down below just so I can have space to do it neatly. Okay, and now I'm also going to reduce this because I notice that both the top and the bottom can be divided by 2. So I'm going to divide by 2, divide by 2. Okay, so again, negative divided by positive is negative. I'm putting the negative out in front of the fraction. 10 divided by 2 is 5, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. So this is my slope, negative 5 over 3. Okay, and I'm done. Again, I would recommend that you pause and try these two right now and get checked. Okay. Now here, look, it says write the equation of the line that passes through these points. So now it's going to start the same way as the slope formula. Okay, so I'm going to start with, look, I'm just going to copy it from right here. Okay, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So y2 minus y1, right? 3 minus negative 5 over x2 minus x1. This becomes 3 plus 5, which is 8. Negative 1 minus 3 is negative 4. This can be simplified, right? This is a positive divided by negative is a negative, and 8 divided by 4 is 2. So here my slope is 2. Okay, but now remember, in this question, I'm being asked to write the equation of the line, y equals mx plus b. So I'm halfway done. I have the slope, right? I need two pieces of information to write the equation. I need the m, and I need the b. So I have the slope, and now I'm going to use slope-intercept form to find the b. I'm going to plug in what I know, which is this m, and then I'm going to choose one of these points. It does not matter which one. I'm going to choose one of the points. I'm just going to choose this one, and I'm going to plug in the y equals, look, I already have m. This is m times x x plus b. So now I'm just going to do the math. Negative times negative is positive. 2 times 1 is 2. I subtract 2 from both sides. My goal is to get b by itself. I am solving for b. And I get b equals 1. So my b is positive 1. And this is my equation. Okay. Had I chosen instead to plug in this point where I plugged in the x was 3 and the y was negative 5, I would have gotten the same answer, 1. Okay, again, recommended to pause and try this one. Okay, last one, here we go. I'm going to start by solving this like an equation, which is I'm going to get x by itself, so I'm going to subtract 11 from both sides. I get negative 5x equals 4 negatives, 11 more negatives, that's negative 15. Oh, and look, I forgot to bring down. Okay, this is this symbol. Now, x is being multiplied by negative 5. I'm going to divide by negative 5. Negative divided by negative is positive. I bring down x. Now, this sign is going to flip around. Okay, the sign flips when you multiply or divide by a negative. Okay, so this sign flipped around. So now I'm going to go to graph it, right? Here's 3. So now I decide open circle or closed circle. So this is open circle because there's no line underneath, so open circle. And which way is it shaded? This is x is greater than 3, right? This is the greater than sign, so I'm going to shade these numbers that are greater than 3. Okay, so I shade it like this, and you can just kind of shade in the arrow at the end. Okay, some things to just remind you. No line underneath is open circle. If there's a line underneath, like these, this is a closed circle, right? If there's no line underneath like this is an open circle. Okay, so that's that to remember. The other thing to remember is, so if I divide by a negative, I flip the sign. The other thing that sometimes happens is I end up with x on the right side. Okay, but here at the very end, you're going to have to flip the whole thing around so that x is on the left. Okay, x has to be on the left side. So like, let's say there's x and then a sign and then a number, like whatever the sign is, right? I'm just going to like make one up. So when you get to the end, you have to flip the whole thing around, including the sign. All right, go ahead and try these.